Hello, Froggy here. Today I'll be doing some exploring outside of the Riven encounter. So you can also do this from the Queenswalk encounter by walking into where Riven spawns in. But you have to get to Queenswalk first, so this is something you can do a bit more easily solo. As you've seen in some of my other videos, if you walk back this way, you can continue down to the chest room. If you were to go to the right up ahead and load into a Hall of Two Souls, the door would load in. And while you can get past the door without, before it'll load in, getting to the drop is a bit harder. This was actually part of a failed attempt to get to the Morgeth Egg solo originally, but it's a pretty cool area, so I thought I would share how to get there. So from here, there's a nice little out of map up there. You can just sword fly straight into it. Don't even have to use any other abilities. I find it's easiest to just climb to the top of this tower and just sword fly over. You'll want to be careful though, because if you just go straight forwards, you may fall into an invisible pit and be trapped, so make sure you land on solid ground. From here, we'll be relying on a lot of Code of the Missile. It's actually very good for height gain. We just super over to the top of this pillar first, and then back to the main structure. And we'll be continuing to climb this, waiting for our super each time. Luckily I can get mine back quickly with the magic of video editing. So for this next part, you're most likely going to end up underneath an invisible platform. Just want to back out to the side and jump out and over it. As you can see, that's the platform that we were below. And now we need another super. We just Code of the Missile up and around this pillar until we get to the little ledge thing in the middle. It's important to note that since we're doing this from the Riven encounter, we do have a token, and if you die, you will have to restart. And our next target will be those poles up there. You actually have enough distance to reach the back one, which makes the next part a little bit easier. You'll want a sword handy so that you can make sure you can stably stand. Why don't you just swing in, and that should give you a solid footing. You'll notice I come back after the cut on the other side because I fell and had to do the entire climb over again. One more super and we get all the way to the top. But before we do some exploring here, I figure I'd show you what this looks like if you go from after the Morgeth encounter. As you can see, there are a lot of rocks around this structure from there. And it's a bit brighter. Also at the top, you can see the nice little mountain there, as well as go inside and load into the next area. So, continuing on, we can check out some pretty neat things. You can see a little bit on the top of the screen there. The, the Riven's heart room, where you get teleported after carrying the ball. You can get a pretty nice view of it, but getting inside I don't think is currently possible. Nice little fake wall there, so you can check out the inside. Sadly, the load zone for getting into the Hall of Two Souls is not hittable from outside of the map. If it were, you could use this climb to get to the Morgeth Egg solo. But as it stands, it's just a pretty neat area to explore. We'll see if we can get a bit higher up to get a good view of the Riven's Heart room. For some jumps you might need to switch to high lift. As is often the case, at certain heights and locations you might get a lighting change. Get a bit better view of the Riven Heart area here. A lot of the floor surface is kind of cold there, so you don't see the full room. Wee lighting changes. Let's see if we can get a bit higher and get a nicer view of the whole thing. The opposite end has a rock that has a bit of a better view. It really is amazing how handy Code of the Missile is. Especially with its mobility buff that it got a while back. You get a very nice view of everything from the top of this rock, especially since the lighting effects are gone. You can even kind of see the dome around the heart. So one other neat area you can check out here is the Ascendant Realm that you get teleported to after you meet the damage threshold for Riven. And, of course, we can also check out Riven herself. I don't know how necessary it is, but I went ahead and dropped down approximately where you normally would to avoid the possibility of death barriers. And tried to stick relatively close to the normal spaces. You can't go here directly from where we started off because there is a barrier in between. And there you can see a bit of Riven poking out. And there we go. Just me, or is she looking right at us? Oh. Guess you can't zoom in on the plates. Yeah, going down a bit further, we'll be able to sort of see the ascendant area. And see little flashes down there of it. You can't just drop into it from here, unfortunately. Because you will die. You catch a little flash of it. So go ahead and check it out and see what cool stuff you can spot.